Good evening. We present the news summary. The Court of Appeal has upheld 2 life sentences, increased the sentence in a drug case, and set another convict free due to a lack of evidence in his case. These are amongst several judgments it delivered today at the end of its second session for the year.
The first life sentence the court has upheld is against Elliston Wadugu Dapitia for the murder of his wife Romenta at Montbuxton. The judges were not convinced by his arguments of a provocation that led to the crime. The second life sentence upheld is that of Kenneth Marego for the murder of Pralin's Castello Hotel owner Hans Hakel and attempted murder of Mr. Hakel's concubine. In summary, the judges said that Marego confessed to the murder, but during the trial he questioned the legality of the confession and his evidence were contradictory. In the case of Tanzanian citizen Shabani Kisamba Shabani, who is serving a sentence of 12 years for the importation of cocaine, the judges have determined that foreigners who plead guilty for importing large quantities of hard drugs into the country, who, having got away with light sentences in the Supreme Court, and think they can appeal and have their sentences further reduced without any legal or factual basis, are mistaken. Shabani's sentence was increased from 12 to 18 years imprisonment. And the court has dismissed the 6-year sentence of Kevin Catre, who was found guilty of aiding and abetting the importation of a controlled drug. The decision is that there is no evidence that proved he is guilty of the offense, and he is now a free man.
The Seychelles Coast Guard gave details of a rescue mission they carried recently to save 4 German nationals on a wayward ship. The distress call was received by the Coast Guard on August the 9th from the Maritime Rescue Coordination Center based in Bremen, Germany. The Seychelles Coast Guard deployed a patrol ship in response to the call and found the distressed ship outside of the exclusive economic zone of Seychelles. All the German nationals were rescued and they returned to their country last Monday.
So it took Piers Rasta about 1 day to reach them because it was around 305 nautical miles northeast of Mahe, which is outside the Seychelles exclusive economic zone. It took them 1 day to get there and 1 day to get back. So they got there on the 11th morning, and then they got back to Mahe on the 12th. So roughly around 2-3 days, the entire operation took place. The ship, the yacht itself had an issue with the rudder, the sail. One engine was not ops, and the other engine did not start at all. So that was the main issues why they were drifting into a high-risk area.
Some 35 newly registered businesses and other already in operation attended the Seychelles Revenue Commission's annual awareness and refresher workshop. The half-day workshop took place at the STC conference room last Wednesday. It was a partnership between the SRC and the Customs Services. Participants got to know more about business registration, recent changes in relation to tax processes, value-added tax, powers of customs officers, customs value, and offences and penalties, amongst other issues.
To also give them the overall perspective on the processes for both tax and customs that they are expected to meet, on their obligations as a taxpayer, and also on the expectations that they anticipate from SRC. If I am to talk about tax and customs education in Seychelles, we still have a way to go. I think there are more that needs to be done to ensure that Seychelles develops a culture of tax and customs compliance and a culture of inculcating tax and customs education into our everyday practices. But today we are very pleased with the session to the fact that we have a lot of interactions from the attendees. They are asking questions, they are seeking clarifications, and they are also clarifying in terms of procedures that maybe they may have been misinformed from other parties where they have gathered the information. This is important to us because we want them at the end of the session to go home with the correct information, to go home with the correct procedures, and to also understand what XRC expects from them so that they can practice what has been taught today into their business accordingly.
The Seychelles Creole Academy and partners have launched Club La Lecture. The activity is to engage children and adults to enjoy reading in Creole. Club La Lecture is a pilot project in collaboration with the Pointe-Laoui District Administration, and today students from the Pointe-Laoui Primary School learned the Creole vocabulary and Creole expressions and performed a small role play based on the story of the Ugly Duckling. The Authority for the Maritime Security, SMSA, says it is taking seriously reports about shark sightings in swimming areas around the inner islands. There hasn't been any attack since the two deadly incidents back in 2011. However, an adult shark was sighted in the same area, Pralin, in recent months. Seafarers say they are encountering sharks in groups much more often now compared to the past 3 years or so, and closer to the coast.
We have reached out to various agencies to set up a meeting so we can discuss this in the future. And we have reviewed the situation at Onslazio itself, because this was where the first report came in. Regardless of whether or not they're sharks, you still have to be careful, because they are currents. You need to know the area, and it's better you go with somebody else or in a crowded beach. It's safer. But there's no real concern in regards to the sharks and swimming, per se. As long as you swim within the area, there's lifeguards. It'll be fine. There's no guarantee when you go into the sea anyway of 100% safety. So, and that's with or without sharks.
And this was the news summary. More news at 8 p.m.